They were defeated, though, by the Georgia Bulldogs, unfortunately, 44-41 in Neyland Stadium. Unfortunate way to go down. A game that you absolutely could have won, and you just coached a little scared there at the end, and you let Georgia have the game. And that's what they did in overtime. It just felt like the moment that kick missed, Tennessee was not going to be able to recover from that setback. We've talked about this game extensively already in our post-game show. I'll drop the link in the chat as well to that. But Jordan, just what are your key takeaways or just observations that you had from that Georgia game that Tennessee dropped on Saturday?
Well, I mean, I think there was a few good positives, even though, Tennessee lost, not the outcome that everyone hoped for. But, I mean, Tennessee's got a true wide receiver number one now, Chris Brazzell, which I think's been pretty nice because, like I was mentioning on the last show yesterday, I mean, I think he's the first wide receiver one Tennessee's had since probably Jalen Hyatt. So it's nice for Tennessee to have a reliable guy to go out there and catch passes. And I mean, man, he was dominating out there during the game. I think he had near like 200 yards receiving and I think 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was playing lights out. And, I thought Joey Aguilar played pretty well too for the most part. I mean, he did have those 2 interceptions. One of them, Staley slipped up, so you can't really fault him for it too much. Offensive line still looking on point. Technically, they gave up a sack during that game, during the fumble exchange there with Aguilar. But, I mean, kind of a nitpicky stat right there. But, I mean, you don't count that. Tennessee is still yet to give up a sack for the entire season, and they've only allowed 8 tackles for a loss. So, offense is looking good for the most part, but the defense, I feel like, left a lot on the table, let Georgia march down the field a lot during time, especially in the run game. I mean, even in the quarterback run game, letting Gunnar Stockton escape there and run for a little bit. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of positives to take away on offense. On defense, I think Tennessee needs to start getting things together. But then, I mean, some of it's not their fault either with how much they've been hampered by injuries. So hopefully Tennessee could get Jermod McCoy back soon. I mean, we still don't have a timetable for him yet. It looks like Gibson's probably going to be out for the year. But hopefully all the other guys that are injured right now can get in because Tennessee's going to need some more depth as we get into SEC play.
Yeah, you're going to need that depth. And I agree with a lot of what you said, Jordan. I think you found out a lot of good things about your team in this game. You still don't make up for the agony of defeat with those things. But I think with the sting that you feel from this game, it's going to be a motivating factor going forward for the Vols. And I think a result that will not allow you to overlook any opponent here in the future just because you know what you got to do if you want to get back to where you were last season in the college football playoff. And the fact that you got there with what we have now discovered is not a stellar quarterback, it kind of puts some pressure on you to get back this year, I believe. So just a few things that I learned from this game. And Jordan, you've already mentioned some of them. You have yourself a quarterback. You absolutely have yourself a quarterback because not even Hendon Hooker or any of the other guys, not that it's a surprise, were able to put up the kind of numbers that Joey Aguilar did, really just have the kind of freedom in the passing game at the very beginning that Joey Aguilar did. Scoring 21 points early on in the game is just not something that we've seen from Tennessee against Georgia in a long time, very long time. Because, I mean, even in the 2 games where they beat Georgia in 15 and 16 here in recent years, they got off the slow starts in that game because I want to say I think Georgia was up like a touchdown at halftime in that 2015 game because they were down big at one point, Tennessee was. And then I think it was at least 17-7 in the game in Athens where they threw the Hail Mary. So I believe you can absolutely feel good about what you got at quarterback. And you're right about the interceptions too. I don't put those on him necessarily. You got yourself some receivers too. Braylon Staley has turned out to be a guy that can be a productive playmaker for this team. You saw it on the deep ball against Syracuse. You saw another one in this game. Ended up with 9 catches for 97 yards, which is a very nice outing. Chris Brazzell is really emerging as your receiver one. And I think you got to lean into that as the year goes on. I tweeted it during the game, but he's already passed his season total in receiving yards from 2024 in the span of just 3 games this year.
And he's second in the country in receiving.
Yeah, 200-plus yard receiving games for Chris Brazzell. So good stuff from him. And you had some other guys make plays in the receiving game too. Mike Matthews, a recipient of a few screens. Miles Kitzelman, reliable answer at tight end. So lots to like about this Tennessee passing attack. Just a couple more things that I learned from this game, one of which is something that kind of reinforces what we already know about this team, which is it needs to get healthy on defense. You don't have 2 guys that are very, very important at defensive tackle, and you are missing your 2 best corners on the team as well. You have either one of those guys. I think you at least are able to slow them down somewhat in the receiving game. I would say if you had Jermon McCoy on one end and then Colton Hood on the other, you'd be just fine. I mean, you wouldn't need both, I don't think, for this game. But if you at least have one of those guys, you put up a little bit more of a fight against Georgia defending the pass. But overall, Tennessee is kind of been hit or miss defensively. A lot of sacks, a lot of TFLs so far, but also a lot of big plays given up by this team. And Josh Heupel in his press conference today did not give any updates on the timelines for injuries. And pretty much the only time he'll ever give you an update on an injury now is if the guy is out for the season, because availability reports have pretty much made it so that coaches don't have to disclose any information that they don't want to the media in a press conference. So with all that in mind, you don't know the status of Jackson Moy, Jermon McCoy, Ricky Gibson, David Hobbs, or David Sanders for that matter on the offensive side of the ball. I know Sham Umarov was kind of getting lit up, at least according to what a few people saw on the film. I think Brooks Austin was the one that mentioned it, the Georgia guy. But no, I think David Sanders being back would be a huge help for this offensive line, even though they did enough, I feel like, on Saturday to try and keep Georgia out of the backfield. The only other thing I'll add that I learned is that Star Thomas needs way more carries than he's getting.
Yes.
He is by far your most productive running back right now. That's not a shot at Deshaun Bishop. I like what Deshaun Bishop gives you, but Star Thomas gives you results game in and game out that the other guys just haven't been giving you.
Yeah, I mean, Star Thomas, man. I mean, because, I mean, he played well during that Syracuse game and really shocked me because, I mean, I didn't really have much opinions on him. I mean, seeing film of him at Duke, I thought that he seemed like he was a good receiving back, and he showed a little bit of that in the Syracuse game. But, I mean, after playing against Georgia, the times that he stepped in and was on the field, he seemed to be the true running back number one. And don't get me wrong, like I still love Deshaun Bishop. I think he's a very powerful runner. I think he's a very good runner for Tennessee. But I think there's a little bit of a difference on offense when Star Thomas is in. It seems like they move the ball down the field a lot easier. And I'm pretty sure, let's see what it says here. Yeah, he averaged, I mean, almost 7 yards per carry against Georgia, which is pretty impressive considering all the defenses they've had in recent years and knowing that Kirby Smart's a defensive guy. I mean, I'm just very impressed with him, to be honest, and I just hope to see him to start the games. I don't know if there's like some kind of strategy there, like maybe save. I mean, because Deshaun Bishop's still a good running back. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world having him be the first guy to go in. I almost wonder if Tennessee is like just saving Star Thomas a little bit later, whether that's to like prevent any kind of injuries or whatever the fact is. But I mean, it seems like whenever he's on the field, I mean, he seems like he's the best running back.
Yeah. Game was good till the call for one more play before the kick. It was third down instead of kicking for the win, and they end up jumping off sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one hurt a little bit. You had it won there, but I just think I don't know what you do in that situation for coaching. It's easy to say you should have run another play, but they didn't run another play, and they gave Georgia the ball back with 3 seconds left on the clock. So, but overall, I think if you've got a shot at a team like Georgia, you've got to coach in a way that shows you're not scared in that situation. You got to believe in yourself. And I said it yesterday on our live post game reaction, even though it was kind of a delayed reaction. What did I say? It was the opposite, the alternate version, I should say, of the Alabama game in 22, a game where you end up winning because you made a good decision coaching late in the game. Well, you kind of had to in that scenario because you had the timeout left, but in this situation, I think there's more that you could have done. You got 2 timeouts at your disposal and a few too many seconds on the clock to really be kicking a field goal at that juncture, and at least calm your kicker's nerves a little bit. I think it's something too.
And I thought the false start, I mean, that was like so shocking for me. Like with the way that drive was going, I was not expecting a false start to happen, especially at Neyland Stadium too, you know, like where you got a little bit of control under the crowd. But yeah, that was a disappointment for sure. But I mean, even then I was still thinking that Tennessee was going to win the game, but then man, unfortunate the way that it turned out.
Yep. Not a good result for Tennessee, but again, you learn a lot of things about yourself in losses. And I think in this game, more so than not, you learned good things about yourself, which you can apply for future games. And I said it too. If Tennessee can hang 41 on Georgia, they can hang 41 on anybody, because you just won't see a better defense than this one over the course of the season.